Hi, this is Oneohtrix Point Never. Good morning. I'll be taking over Rage for the next hour. We're going to watch some music videos together. So we are going to kick it off with ABBA, SOS, which is my favorite ABBA song. That's primarily why I chose it. But I actually do think this is a pretty good music video, all things considered. This is kind of before the MTV era of music videos where everybody was really hamming it up and trying to make a terrific little mini movie or something like this. This is purely promotional in nature, and it kind of has that sterile 1970s music video quality to it. However, it's very dramatic. The song is filled with doubt and despair. You can see it on the faces of the singers, and then every once in a while you get this kind of simple optical effect that's happening, and the juxtaposition of those two things, the simple optical effects and the despair of the singers, is so strange to me. And it always felt like I was watching this is what Ingmar Bergman's music videos would be like if he ever directed them. So I find it to be a very intriguing music video. I hope you enjoy it. Next up is a great one-hit wonder, one of the best of all time, Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians. The song is called What I Am. Now, why do I like this song? Well, some might say it's just my nostalgia talking now, but in fact, the song is exceptional for a few reasons. One, it's a song about college, and I love songs about anything nerdy. And so this is Edie's song, which was her only big hit, I think, probably. Maybe she had others, but this was her really big song, and it was basically about her being disillusioned by a college course she was taking. And so I had really no idea when I was enjoying the song as a youth, but it spoke to me, and that's because I'm a big nerd. And I like stuff like philosophy, and she talks about it exhaustively in the song about her kind of being bored by this course she was taking, so it's very good. There's other reasons why the song is exceptional. And it would take an afternoon to tell you about all of them, but I'll just highlight a few. One, there's a fantastic guitar solo in the song, and it utilizes the whammy bar. And it just seems out of place, but works very well somehow. And the other thing I'll say is that this was the 90s. This was the era of the coffee house, okay? And the coffee house is a very special kind of modality. It's a very special kind of feeling. And this really is coffee house music. This is coffee house core. This is coffee house funk. And those days are gone. So take a trip down memory lane. Edie Brickell. And next up is Enya, Caribbean Blue. Well, it's no secret that Enya is one of my big inspirations and one of my favorite artists. It's hard to talk about Enya. This is how much I appreciate her music, and also there's something about her music that's very hard to talk about. It's kind of an emotional wavelength that either you're with it or you're not, and I'm definitely with it. The song is really beautiful, and so let's go. Let's be entranced by her idyllic machinations of yore or whatever is going. I have no idea, but it's very, very beautiful. Enjoy. Next up is Rush, Subdivisions. What can I say about the band Rush? Perhaps one of my, I would say, they're my desert island rock band. If I have to pick one, and I'm, stuck with them, I'm probably gonna go down fighting with Neil and Getty and Alex. Subdivisions is a terrific music video, which is why I chose it. It's one of their better songs. It was it marked the beginning of their synthesizer period. It was the first song that was primarily written, driven by synthesizers. If that's my understanding, is that it kind of it marks a shift of them to a band that's kind of formally, stylistically changing, and it's a really, really beautiful song. The video, rewatching it last night, I thought it was kind of almost had this weird like Adam Curtis vibe to it. It was almost had this kind of anthropological quality to life in a Toronto suburb, and this kind of nerdy kid that's that may feel kind of like outcast in his town or something. Why, I don't know. I think he seems pretty cool to me, but I would think that because I was that kid. The one thing I'm going to disagree here with Neil's lyrics is that he depicts the suburbs of Toronto in this way that are kind of this Ballardian, lifeless, kind of a kind of a cultural dead zone, and it's the worst place for an outcast or a dreamer to grow up. That's one of the lyrics in the songs. I have to say that I think it might be the best place for an outcast or a dreamer to grow up, because the surroundings are so bland that you have no choice but to dream and to create these fantastical worlds that Rush were so great at creating. So that's my only small grievance with this song, but I think the message in it is really good, and it's a really nice video. Enjoy. Next up is Kate Bush and Peter Gabriel collaborating on Don't Give Up. This is a song that is a very special music video. You're just seeing these two superstars of art rock holding each other in a warm embrace. The camera kind of moves around them. And it's beautiful and simple and touching, and I've always just thought it was exactly what a music video should be. Two incredible performers, and they need to do very little to captivate us. The song is actually very interesting. Originally, Peter Gabriel had wanted Dolly Parton to duet with him on it. She was unavailable or not interested. And I cannot imagine the song with anyone other than Kate Bush. She's perfect on it. It's a very touching song. It's dealing with the realities of the impact of a unemployed father on his domestic life. So it's like just very sad and very serious kind of idea, but the message is extremely optimistic. So it's kind of like if Ken Loach was a song or something like that. And it's just a beautiful, uplifting song. So take it away. That's it from me for now. If you tune in later, you can see the rest of my hosting. And in the meantime, we're going to watch one of my videos. It's by John Michael Bowling. It's first song called Boring Angel from my record R+7. This is Oneohtrix Point Never. I'll be taking over Rage for the night. I hope you enjoy this collection of songs I picked out. There's really no theme tonight. It's just music I happen to think makes for a very strong music video watching experience. So we'll talk a little bit about it. You may agree or disagree. It's your prerogative. Frankly, I don't care. Enjoy. Next up is The Art of Noise, Close to the Edit. Now, Art of Noise is a very special group. In a way, I've always kind of looked up to Art of Noise and admired them because they were kind of a group, but they were also basically just a kind of a production project. They were part of Trevor Horn's scene there, and they worked on all kinds of stuff, but Malcolm McLaren's Duck Rock being one of my favorite of their production projects. But they were in that ZZT world, and they were fantastic producers, and they were innovators of sampling. They were using the Fairlight keyboard and really stretching sound in all kinds of interesting ways very early on in the 80s, when really there was just a few other musicians that were messing around with sound the way they were. I would say maybe Herbie Hancock was kind of curious about the Fairlight. You had Peter Gabriel, Kate Bush, who we'll also see later. It's a terrific video as well. First of all, this is a band that named themselves after a Luigi Russolo manifesto on sound, futurist manifesto. These are clearly kind of heady people. And in the video, what you see is this little kid and the group kind of bashing the instruments of the old world, and so they're bashing a piano, and they're kind of very clearly saying, we're over that, sampling is where it's at, and it's just a really kind of interesting music video, because it kind of has a level of self-consciousness to it. They're kind of describing who they are as a band, and I dig it. So the next video is John Martyn, Couldn't Love You More. I don't know what this video is. I guess you're gonna find out, but it's a live performance sometime probably in the mid 80s. I would say John Martyn is one of my favorite folk singers, songwriters ever. He was kind of associated with the scene in England that people kind of think about Nick Drake, think about John Martyn, these kind of guys. This is a very beautiful song, a very sweet song, and delicate song. But he is not a delicate man. He is a grisly, intense man with a very severe kind of voice. Clearly he's had his battles in life. His songs have a lot of agony in them, a lot of despair, a lot of romance that has kind of gone wrong in his life. And this is not that. This is a kind of a rare moment of sweetness from John. I just absolutely love this song. The next clip you're gonna watch is by Alva Noto. It's called Acronym. Alva Noto is the stage name of a wonderful German artist and musician named Carsten Nicolai, who typically I don't necessarily really think about his music videos. I tend to think of him as a kind of a multimedia artist and an electronic musician who cuts records. But this particular video is very, very good. And it's strange because it's just a bunch of corporate logos. And for whatever reason, it's extremely intoxicating. So enjoy it. Take it away. We're going to watch Plaid, Itsu next. And really I'm here to just advocate for Plaid. I think everyone needs to appreciate Plaid more. Everyone talks about, all the great IDM bands of, that first generation of warp bands that are coming out of Sheffield. You have, Boards of Canada and Autechre and Aphex Twin and Square Pusher. Not everyone's from Sheffield, but this is the kind of thing that people talk about when they talk about that first generation of IDM. Plaid, formerly Black Dog, which was kind of the original IDM act, is to me one of the finest. They have a very sweet and very naturalistic kind of sound, and their music to me is just very special and very different than maybe some of their contemporaries. And I'd never seen this video before, and it's extremely inventive and funny, and like everything that is Plaid. Everyone needs to appreciated Plaid more. So here I am, advocating for Plaid. Next music video we're gonna watch is Roni Side's Brown Paper Bag. A song that means quite a lot to me because when I first got my license at 16 and a half, which is the legal age at which you're able to get a driver's license in the United States, or was then, this was my favorite record. I had the double CD. I dubbed it on a 120-minute tape on both sides, and I had an auto reverse deck, so it would just infinitely play. And this was the best driving music I'd ever heard in my life, this record represent. I just remember the feeling of this record. Like, I felt like I was, my little 1989 Toyota Camry was like a cockpit. I was like in a completely futuristic scenario when this record was playing in the car, and I just worshipped it. I worshipped every minute of it. Great song. Hi, I'm Oneohtrix Point Never, and you are watching Rage. Next song we are going to watch is L7's video for Pretend That We're Dead. Now, this song is one of the catchiest songs I've ever heard in my life. There's basically just one riff, and it carries the entire song. I would say that this is kind of like a seminal Gen X slacker song because it paradoxically talks about being extremely lazy, or the ultimate form of laziness, being dead, and yet is really kind of a celebration of how vivacious and alive this band was. And that's really what to me Gen X music is all about. It's a kind of an animation of laziness and slackerhood, but in such a way as to say, no, this is actually, we're totally dedicated to this. This is our cause. So it's actually quite full of life. And this song is just one of the finest examples of this kind of music that was happening in and around grunge. They were not a Seattle band. People often think they were. They predate grunge. They were a band that came out of California. They were around before a lot of that stuff. But like a lot of people, I first heard them when I was kind of absorbing grunge as a kid in my teens, and I absolutely worship the song. Next up is Primus, Wynona's Big Brown Beaver. Now, is it my favorite Primus song? Maybe not, but it's a hell of a video, particularly because you have these oversized faces that are kind of frozen in this expression, and they never really move. The bodies are normal sized, as I remember, and they're moving quite a bit. And the combination is very disquieting and very strange. It really, really made an impression on me in the 90s when I would probably see it on some sleepover or something like that at like 2 in the morning and think to myself, I have no idea what these guys are on about, but I like it. Next, we are going to watch Ministry, Just One Fix. Ministry. We all know Ministry. They're kind of like the one of the godfathers of industrial music, if you want to think about it that way. This video is outstanding. I'd never actually seen this, but I really wanted to. I was thinking about what industrial song I want to include in this, and started looking up a few different things. And I got to this song, that I texted a friend of mine. He's a director. You may have seen his film Mandy. His name is Panos Cosmatos, and he said, you have to put Just One Fix in. So this is for you, Panos. I'd never seen this before. It's really good, and it was directed by Peter Christopherson, I think is his name. I have to look this up. But the guy from Coil, who had this kind of parallel career, one as a kind of avant-garde musician who was, previously was in Throbbing Gristle and went on to Coil, but also he worked as a designer for Hypnosis, designing all these classic rock record album covers, and then You know, famously told Paul McCartney that his album Tug of War needed to have a cover of like a kid hanging by a noose or something like that. It's that whole world, that coil, throbbing gristle world. But this video is fantastic, and the video is beautifully directed, and William S. Burroughs makes an appearance. So it just couldn't be better, basically. So thank you, Panos, for suggesting this. Next music video we are going to watch together is by one of my favorite groups, Black Dice. The song is called Kokomo. I first encountered Black Dice probably in the early O's when I was a student at a college in Western Massachusetts, and I used to go down to Providence, Rhode Island, where there was a burgeoning art and music scene all around this one place called Fort Thunder, where there'd be a lot of shows and stuff. And a lot of the music down there had some kind of appreciation of noise, and the artwork was very collage driven. And Black Dice really were one of the finest examples of what was happening in the entire scene, which was putting together a completely integrated view of music and art. And so that the music sounded a lot like the art, and the art looked a lot like how the music sounded. And this is probably a video by Danny Perez. I'm not sure. I would assume it is, but he was a longtime collaborator of Black Dice and Animal Collective, and it's a fantastic song and a very psychedelic music video. Hi, I'm Oneohtrix Point Never, and you are watching Rage. So that's been all of my music video choices for the night. We are now begrudgingly moving on to my own music, starting off with Lost But Never Alone, a video directed by Josh and Benny Softy during the height of the pandemic. It's about a sitcom family that's having a kind of an eerie incursion has happened to a 1990s sitcom family, where a cell phone from an iPhone from the future has shown up and is tearing the family apart.